everybody, Brent here from Music 214, and welcome to What Do Those Knobs Do? Where we look at different effects pedals that have different knobs on them, and I answer, you guessed it, what do those knobs do? Today we're going to look at an analog delay. What I have here is this one, which is the MXR Carbon Copy analog delay. You see it's got 3 knobs on it, so we're going to look at this delay pedal in particular and look at what those knobs do. So what is an analog delay? Let's look at that for a second. First of all, delay is an effect that we use on the guitar and some other instruments that allow us to play something and then have a sort of echo where it's repeated exactly what we played over and over for a certain number of times with a certain amount of time in between each one of those echoes. Now, analog delay references some of the older delays that we used to have back in, say, the 50s when they would record to tape. Some of the earliest instances of using delay were in the Sun Studio recordings with Elvis Presley back in the 50s. What they would do is record something to tape, and then they would take that recording and record it onto another tape, and then change the speed of the second tape so that you can hear an echo of the first thing that was recorded again. Now, typically with those, there was just one echo, and that was what was referred to as slapback delay in those days. Now, it's called analog because you really couldn't set exactly how fast you wanted those delays to go. You just had to speed up the tape or slow down the tape to get that speed that you wanted. Now, analog differs from another kind of delay, which is digital delay, which came decades and decades after, which allowed us to set very specific times in milliseconds. So that way we could set our delays to click tracks or recording or already pre-recorded songs that were set at certain tempos so that you could set your delay to be exactly where you want it to, and you didn't have to really guess at how much speed you wanted. All right, everybody, here you can see the MXR Carbon Copy delay. I've got it set up here for you with the 3 knobs. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing through this and I will give you different examples. I'm using this inspired by Gibson new ES335 by Epiphone. I've been enjoying it so far, great guitar. And I'm playing right into this pedal and then straight into my interface, which is into a AC30, Vox AC30 semi-distorted sound. Sounds just like this. So that's the sound that you'll hear, and then I can demonstrate the capabilities of the pedal here. So what we have here is 3 knobs. We have regen, mix, and delay. Regen is basically short for regeneration, or in most cases you'll see feedback. And what this is controlling how many times the delay is going to repeat before it ends. So when we set this up, again, you can't set it up to a specific amount because we're kind of mimicking old technology. So it's just the more you turn it up, the more delays you're going to get. Mix then is basically the level of the delays compared to your initial sound. So you can decide if you want the delays to be the same volume as your initial sound or a little bit less as you turn it down. And then delay is the actual time. So usually you'll see time or delay, some version of that. But basically this is going to determine how quickly the repeats happen. So how much time is between each echo as it happens. So as it sits right now, everything is turned down. So of course, if I turned on this pedal, and we do that by clicking on the button here, because this is what's known as a stomp box. So this would be on the floor. You would use your foot to push on this pedal right here, and that would engage the pedal. You see the light comes on to tell us what's happening. Well, nothing's going to happen because we have our mix all the way down, so we're not going to hear a delay. And we also have our regen and delay all the way down. So there's no delay happening. All you're hearing is me play. So what we're going to do is turn this off, and I'm going to start with everything at about 12 o'clock. So we're going to move everything to be about halfway so that we do have some mix, we're going to have some sound, we're going to have some regeneration, and we're going to have some amount of time between those delays. So here we go. So this is our starting point. So I'm just going to play one note, which is the low E string, and you'll hear everything else then is the pedal. So all those delays that you're hearing coming after the initial note is done by the pedal. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the mix all the way up so that our delays are a little bit more pronounced and you can hear them at the same volume as the initial note. So again, I'm going to play one note and everything else after that is just the pedal. So you hear you get a nice loud delay. Now the regeneration again chooses how many repeats there are after with the delay. And so what happens there is it starts to fade out a little bit. So eventually it will go away. Now let's look at the delay knob over here. So as I turn that down, I'm going to be decreasing the amount of time between each delay. So it's going to sound like they're happening faster. So let's turn this down and see what happens. One note and then... So you can hear they're going very, very quick. Kind of a funny sound. As I turn it up then, you're going to hear longer spaces between the delays. So let's see what happens if we turn it all the way up. I'm going to turn this mix just down a little bit. Here we go. So with this delay pedal, that's going to be the longest space you can have between notes. So if you're looking for something with a longer space with more time between each echo, then obviously you'd want to look at a different pedal. But this will get you everywhere from a short, very short delay to about that speed. Okay, so let's bring this back down to about a medium amount, where it was here at 12 o'clock. And then let's go over to the regen. So as I turn this down, I'm going to get less repeats. I'm going to get less of the echoes. So after about 2 or 3, it goes away. Let's go down even further. So you're really just getting one with a slight trail off. You can even go down a little bit more. So you hear that's just one delay. I'm playing one note and then I'm getting one delay back. Now that would be very similar to the slap back delay of the Elvis Presley's early on. So if I go over to my delay here and make that a little bit shorter, so I get a one-time quick delay, that's the kind of sound that you would get from those early recordings. Now, if I want to have more, I'll turn them up. Turn up my regeneration up higher. And now I'm going to get more delays. All right, so you can hear what I want to get at here next is that if we turn the regen all the way up, so let's go back to a medium amount here. So I'm going to play one note. We get a fair amount there. Now, if I turn the regen all the way up, what we get is an infinite loop of delays. And this is where analog delays get pretty fun. People like this, is that you play a note that will repeat infinitely. Then you can adjust the delay time, and it's like speeding up and slowing down the tape. So let's just have a listen to this. It's a pretty fun effect that you can play with. So you can have some pretty fun times with a very simple analog delay. So that's basically it. That's what these knobs do. Regen or feedback will control the amount of delays. The mix will control the volume of those delays, and the delay actual knob there is actually a time control, which will determine how much time is between each of your delays. So this particular analog delay has some limits in terms of what you can do with it. So you can certainly get some more in-depth ones. But if you're looking for a fun pedal or you're looking for an analog delay, that's what those knobs do. I will point out that this particular model has a mod, which is short for modulation button. When I click that on, we get another blue LED, but it adds some modulation, some chorus to our delays. So instead of just mimicking the exact sound of our initial note, it's going to add some modulation to give us a little bit more of a lush. Now Now, the untrained ear probably won't hear much of a difference, but if you're somebody that does like to add a little bit of effect to your delays, then that's a great little feature there as well. So that's the Carbon Copy analog delay, and that's what those knobs do. Thanks so much for hanging out today and learning about the analog delay pedal and what those knobs do. Hopefully that helps you out. So if you're ever looking to buy an analog delay pedal, you know what you're getting into and how to adjust those knobs to get the sound that you want. Make sure to click subscribe so that you can be the first to know when new videos are up like these. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and click the bell so that you can get the alerts and you don't have to waste any time. You'll see those videos pop up and then you can go watch them right away. Thanks for supporting us here at Music 214. We'll see you for the next one.